Hey everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Clinic. This is a new podcast hosted by Dr. Molly O'Banion and myself, Ashley, just a regular gal. The premise of this podcast is all things pets and veterinary medicine. Dr. Molly is here to do that part. I am here to make sure she's using words us regular people can understand. Each episode we will dive into different aspects of veterinary medicine, interesting cases seen at the clinic, and just general advice on pet ownership in hopes of educating and giving a glimpse into our world. So, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. So we are doing something a little different today. We are interviewing someone who has gone through the animal world process.
What?
I don't know.
The animal world process. I like
The animal world process.
She's a very special lady who adds a lot to the table.
Aww. So this is Dr. Alex. Alex has been hanging out with us for a couple years now.
On and off. I've been here a total of, I think, 16 weeks. But yeah, spread out over like 2 years or so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so she just graduated animal doctor school, veterinary school.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, the struggle is real.
My coffee's not working today. I'm working on it. Don't worry about me. So she went to, and she'll give you all her details, but she got to go study in the United Kingdom.
Why did you become British?
I saw
so
your
I was
face.
thinking about
You wanted to
doing a
do a
British
London.
accent, and I was like, I'm probably gonna offend someone, so I stopped.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Your face didn't stop.
Anyway.
Okay, Ashley's struggling. Let me do it this time.
Good start.
Dr. Alex was born and raised in this area. She went to the same ISD as I did, so she has the same kind of background-ish in FFA in this area with the same ag teachers even as I did, which is kind of fun and kind of cyclical. She went to A&M for undergraduate, and then she went to Royal College of London for her veterinary school. She graduated veterinary school, has been spending the past couple of months getting all of her licenses in order, and she's going to join us in our effort to save lives and make the world a better place one smitten at a time very soon. I know. So
That makes it sound so noble.
We are. Nobility.
Me especially.
Oh, God. Okay, so we are going to use this time to introduce her, but also to maybe shed some light on the process of becoming a veterinarian, since you're so fresh out of it and I'm old and kind of crinkly.
Decrepit.
Yeah. For all of those people who are interested in becoming vets one day, you can answer the questions better than I can.
Sure.
So, do you...
I have an opening question.
Is it why did I become a vet? Because that's a big one everywhere.
So, yes and no. So I made a joke on a previous episode, I think our introduction one.
Don't make jokes.
Don't make jokes.
No, keep making jokes.
Okay, so when I was a little kid, I was like, I want to be a veterinarian. I want to work with animals. And then went to the vet, saw how they take temperatures, and was like, no, thank you. How did you know when you were young? Or like what part of before you get into the college part, like at what point did you know when you were young, this is, because it's a big commitment.
Sure.
When did you were like, yes, this is a big commitment I want to make?
So, first of all, your experience is not uncommon at all. It is so common for people to say, I wanted to be a vet when I was a little kid, and then I saw...
How dirty it is.
Yeah, how dirty it is, how I saw a drop of blood and I hated it, and I realized, oh, this is not meant for me, that's okay.
But that's why in the application process, veterinary schools want you to have so many experience
Exactly.
hours, so that you know what you're getting into.
Exactly. So my experience is a little bit atypical in the fact that when I was a little kid, I did not want to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be, I think the first thing I told my parents that I wanted to be when I grow up is a book editor, because I loved reading and I loved grammar and I loved finding the little mistakes in books, which is probably the nerdiest thing that you could possibly hear from like a 7-year-old.
Then why do you like hanging out with us?
Well, I mean, I'm here, aren't I? I'm here.
She likes the chaos.
That's true. I like finding and organizing the chaos. That's a good answer. So my actual introduction into vet med, and I had always had pets growing up. I had always had a dog in the house or a couple dogs in the house. My parents had always had dogs. This was a normal thing for me, and I loved them. But honestly, my very first introduction into the vet world was when I was in FFA in high school. I only did it for 1 year. I was a junior, and I had no previous farm experience at all. I was very much a city girl. I was an indoor cat, as I like to say. I was, truly. I was an indoor kid. I was not really, I was not very farmy at all. I have kind of like a family history, like a few generations ago, of being very farmy, but that has since washed out of my bloodline, basically. So I was a junior in high school, and I told my mom, I think I want to do this FFA thing, and I think I want to raise a goat. And she was like, okay, go for it, I guess. And she took me to the meeting and watched me as apparently I had this, like my eyes got really wide and excited whenever I saw the pictures of the goats. And she was like, all right, for whatever reason, she wants to do this. All right, let's go for it. And I just completely fell in love with it. I walked into the barn every day, and just something about the atmosphere, something about the animals, obviously, but just something about the feeling of being around it all and getting your hands dirty and helping the animals every day and feeling like you're making a difference every day, even when you're just raising the animal.
Yeah.
That felt like it really resonated with me, and it really connected with me. So from then on, I was a junior in high school, so 16 at that point. So then I was like, oh, well, I got to get my stuff together then if I feel like I want to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I want to go to A&M for my undergraduate degree. If I can be so complimentary of myself, I had the foresight to think, this is going to cost me a lot of money if I go this far. So I'm going to start at community college. So I did my first 2 years right out of high school. I was at Blinn Community College in Bryan.
That is the way to go.
Yes.
So many people think that that's demeaning, but it's not.
Yeah.
The classes, it's the same professors,
yes.
But the class content is easier. It's cheaper. You're getting the same credits. You can do more credits at once because the classes are so much easier.
Yeah.
And get it done faster.
Yeah.
And the amount of money you save is so many tacos. It's so, honestly, like, that's the way to go. I don't care which junior college, but if you can do your first year, even your first, 2 years, do it.
Yeah. So that was the way that I did it. I did my full first 2 years. So I did biologies and chemistries and organic chemistries and physics and all of the things. And then I transferred into A&M. And from then, it was getting to be my junior year at A&M, my senior year at A&M. I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to apply to vet schools. Where do I want to go? Obviously, A&M was my number one choice. At the time, it was the only in-state vet school for Texas. Now there is Texas Tech, which is a great other in-state option. I did not have that at the time. So A&M was obvious that I was going to apply to, but I decided that I did not want to have to apply more than once, if possible. Obviously,
yeah,
as much as I can control, right? So I worked really hard on my application, and I decided I'm going to cast a wide net, and I'm just going to apply to a bunch of different places. At the time, there were, I think, 29 or 30 accredited schools, and I applied to 9, which felt huge at the moment. And as I kind of look back, and I keep up with veterinary school forums and subreddits now and kind of keep up with current students, and they're like, I'm applying to 15 this year. And I'm like, okay, maybe 9 wasn't that crazy. At the time, filling out 9 applications and paying for 9 applications felt crazy to me.
It sounds exhausting.
It was a whole summer event, for sure.
That sounds awful.
It's a lot of essays and, well, this school has this particular essay and this school has this particular class that you need. And, oh, you didn't take molecular cell biology? Well, that's your fault. Yes. But I remembered when I was in the pre-vet club or pre-vet society or whatever at A&M, there was a talk that someone came and gave from the Royal Veterinary College at the University of London. And I was like, that's weird. That's kind of out there. And I looked at it, and I looked at the cost of tuition, obviously, and I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy that the London tuition is actually really comparable to an out-of-state vet school tuition. Just a crazy fact to me. I was like, well, okay, throw my hat in the ring. Let's see. So I ended up getting interviews at 3 schools, and I got accepted to 2 schools. I was accepted to the Royal Vet College, and I was accepted to a school in Tennessee that at the time was so new that they did not have accreditation yet.
Sketchy.
It felt like it. And I toured that campus and I liked it, but I just was sketched out by the fact that they were so new.
It's just so many extra steps.
Yeah.
That you have to accomplish once you graduate.
Yeah. Which, again, talk about cyclical.
Right.
So I decided, all right, I'm not taking another gap year. We're going straight in. We're going to the Royal Vet College in London. It's a 5-year program. So you spend your first year or 2 years in central London, in downtown London, in the grey with the rain and the tall buildings in the downtown metropolitan London.
Yeah.
And then for your last 3 years,
In the rain.
that's what really resonated with me. That's what stuck with me was the grey and the rain. So yeah, then I spent my last 3 years on clinical rotations.
Yeah. That's one of the difference that people don't realize, though, about your European schools. So there's a lot of European schools that are AVMA accredited, so you can go there and have a fantastic life event and travel, and you know, it's fun, it's a great experience, you get your vet school done, but it is a 5-year program comparative to your in-state schools, which are 3 to 4.
Yeah. And they do have what they call an accelerated program, and that's intended for people that already have a bachelor's degree. Let me back up. If you are a European-born, or I think even Australian, pretty much anywhere outside of the North America, if you want to become a veterinarian, I'm getting there. If you want to become a veterinarian, I think that you do not need to have a bachelor's degree if you are outside of North America. So you can go straight to vet school, straight from their equivalent of high school. So you're 18 years old, you go to vet school.
That's what I should have done.
I mean...
No.
But it also created this really interesting kind of dichotomy in my class, because we had a certain cohort of students who were American, who were at least 22, 23 years old, 21, 22-ish, at least. I had some classmates who were older, and those were the people who I bonded with quite a lot.
Yeah.
And then you had people who were 17 or 18 years old, fresh out of high school.
That's weird.
It was weird. Yeah. And also, the drinking age over there is 18 years old. And the drinking culture over there is very, very strong. And I am not much of a drinker, and I never really, really have been. So it was a weird dichotomy, for sure.
I would have a great time.
It was fun.
What do you want to do? Go to the pub? Okay.
Quite literally. My school did not have classes on Wednesday afternoons because that was the time for sports meetings, and that was the time...
Sports.
Yes.
Sports ball.
We had rugby, we had football, proper football.
Same thing.
No.
Football is not soccer. Fight me.
Okay, soccer is not rugby, though. And football is not rugby.
Rugby is football without pads. Yes.
All right.
No.
Done.
Ilona Marr would have something to say about this.
Ashley's sitting in the corner going,
She's like, editor's note, research rugby.
No, she's not.
That will not happen.
But just the culture's more laid back, which is fun.
Yeah.
More time off. And you can take the train to other countries whenever you want to, which is also a great time.
I did do that.
I'm jealous.
I did do that.
I did do that. What also made my vet school experience a little bit unique in a way is that I started in the fall of 2019, which meant that the spring of 2020, when the world collapsed, was the spring of my first year. So that was right in the middle of our heavy teaching for our first year of this heavy, intense degree.
Where you're supposed to have a lot of hands-on labs that you didn't get.
Yes. And yes, everything got moved online. I went back home to Houston, and I lived with my dad for that summer and did vet school online, which was weird. And I was not prepared for it.
It really set you up for failure. It really was not ideal for y'all.
Yeah, it wasn't fantastic.
But you made it.
But we made it.
You're here.
It's in the past.
So, outside of the COVID shutdown, what part of the process, I don't know, what's the best way to explain it? Whenever you felt the most like you bit off more than you can chew, imposter syndrome, what did you underestimate? What did you overestimate?
I think clinical rotations was the biggest imposter syndrome moment for me personally.
Yeah.
So the rotations at the time that I was at the school, because I think they're changing things now. At the time that I was at the school, our rotations were like 14 months long, 12 to 14 months. And then right after that, we had our final exams, which I'll get into in a second because they're different from the US. So clinical rotations were every 2 weeks we go somewhere different, and we work in either different departments of the specialist hospital on campus, or we go to the campus in downtown London, or we go to an auxiliary campus over in the west of the country. Like we carpool together, like a 3-4 hour drive, go stay there for 2 weeks and work on different things. And I don't know, when I was going into vet school and I was picturing clinical rotations, I was like, this is going to be fun. I'm going to feel like a real vet, and I'm going to get to have my own patients, and I'm going to get to do the history. Yeah, very empowering, very fun.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and to me, clinical rotations was a lot of, you don't know enough. You don't know what you're talking about. Here are some cases. You don't know what you're talking about? Why not? And then go learn, and then you don't know what you're talking about.
It's throwing you from reading books and studying PowerPoints into living beings who need help. And it is that none of the living beings have read those same books. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And they don't know what rules they're supposed to be following. And so they're doing their own things, and you're expected to complete this puzzle, but you don't have the right rules. And it's a struggle.
Yeah. And
at the same time, you're being graded for it.
Yeah.
And the senior clinicians are judging you because you don't have all the answers. Yeah, it's a fun transition.
And judging you heavily is the experience that I had.
But everybody goes through it.
Yes.
I mean, it's just one of those things that we all survive.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're gonna, this is kind of morbid, but if you get into vet school, we didn't have a lot of people drop out during the clinical year. If we had anybody drop out of the program, it was like during the first year.
Yeah.
When they realized that, like, we had one person drop out and move to equine reproduction.
Okay.
Because she realized that she didn't want to be like medicine. She just wanted to do that. We had one person drop out and move to business. And we had one person drop out for family reasons.
Fair enough. I was saying Ashley could have dropped out and moved to business.
No, she
That's
did
what
art.
I did.
She did coloring for school. But I just think that, like, if you make it all the way to clinicals, you're almost there, and you're so motivated, and you're finally getting to touch things that you can do it.
Yeah. And there was definitely a sense of camaraderie. You can do it.
Camaraderie.
There was definitely a sense of camaraderie between the students, but it felt like us against the senior clinicians and the interns and the bubba-da-buzz and the bubba-da-buzz, the powers that be, if you will. The them, exactly. It definitely felt like, it felt like we were being worked very, very hard for a long, long time and many, many hours in a row.
I get that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that was your experience, wasn't
Well,
it?
it depends on the rotation. I had some rotations that were so much fun and so easy, and the senior clinicians were awesome, and I felt like I got this and I can do this. And then I had some where I worked 36-hour shifts, and I was being yelled at the whole time, and I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody, and I was just, like, it was ugly. And I was like, why am I here? What am I doing with my life? But it's just very dependent.
Can we circle back to the 36-hour part?
Yeah.
Was that like, do you sleep at all? Yeah, I'm out.
It wasn't intentionally that.
You had like a
so
back-to-back,
that wasn't
right?
like your schedule. Like, you weren't scheduled like, hey, you're going to be here 36 hours before you clock out. It was just like an oopsies.
So they don't have this anymore. But back in the day...
You're so
make it
old
sound
and
like it's so
decrepit.
long ago. It's really
back
not.
in the day, A&M vet school, during your large animal rotations, they had large animal ER after hours, and the large animal rotation kids had to all take turns at ER shifts. And you either had the beginning of the overnight or the end of the overnight shift. So I worked a 16-hour day on equine orthopedics. And then I was scheduled for the first overnight shift. And so I was supposed to work till midnight. And then I was supposed to change. Well, the person that was supposed to change didn't show up. And so instead of sending me home, they said, you have to stay.
Oh, my.
And so then I stayed until the morning, and I entered another 16-hour equine orthopedic shift. And then that shift also ran late. So it ended up being like an 18-hour equine orthopedic shift. And the only reason I left is because I yelled at my resident. She was mean. She deserved it.
After 36 hours,
Right. Don't push me. I was exhausted.
Yeah, I think I would have punched someone in the throat after, like...
I didn't punch anybody.
5 hours.
I just told her not to talk to me like that in an elevated tone, and then I got asked to leave the premises.
And Molly said, perfect!
Perfect!
She said, I'm out. Goodbye. Did the students set their own on-call shifts?
No.
No. So the school said, you're in group A. Group A is going to be on call this week. It's student number 1 on Monday, student number 2 on Tuesday, student number 3 on Wednesday.
Yep.
Our school left it up to us. So each individual group, when the email would come out saying, congratulations, you're going to be on, your exotics rotation. You're going to be on your whatever rotation. We have a schedule, a rota, if you will.
A rota?
Yes. That you need to fill out amongst your group of 6 to 7 students. You need to fill this out and figure out who is going to be on call which days. But what happened was that because that email came out at 5 o'clock on a Thursday, the first people who saw that email and made the Google Doc and filled it in just got all the shifts that they wanted.
Dumb.
Yeah. And so they got the nice,
That's not fair.
we were on my emergency room rotation, and there were 12-hour shifts there, and they all kind of staggered together. So there was an 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., there was a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., a 12 noon to 12 midnight, going pretty much all hours. But they were all 12 hours. 12-hour shifts, I should say. And yeah, we had one person who saw the email first and just chose all of the 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shifts for all 5 of her required shifts.
Should have been talked to or something.
But they left it up to the students. So they were like, are you going to talk to this person? Are you going to... Or is it kind of like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours? Maybe next time you take a little bit of a less convenient rotation slot or a on-call slot.
Yeah.
And sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't. In my case, it did not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was different for us.
Another
fun thing that Molly likes to laugh at me for during my rotations that was different is that I got something called cryptosporidium.
Yes!
On my rotations. Cryptosporidium is a protozoa, so kind of like a bacteria. It is a GI bug that mainly causes diarrhea in young cows, in calves. We had a farm rotation, and I say had because I don't know if they're kind of phasing this rotation out. We had a farm rotation where it was just kind of known amongst the students that you go to this farm rotation, one of the farms that you go to has cryptosporidium on their farm. And there's a chance that you might get it. And so you think, okay, well, just be smart. Just wash your hands.
Yeah, just be smart.
Yeah, just wash your hands. Just don't, stick your hand where it shouldn't be. Just don't eat with your hands right afterwards. You'll be fine, right? No.
For sure.
Cryptosporidium in particular is one of those bugs that's really, 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 really resistant to a lot of disinfectants. It's really resistant to alcohol-based hand sanitizer. It's really resistant to the alcohol wipes that we were using on our hands and on our phones.
They're not even one of the cute ones either.
I know.
Which is sad.
Aww.
If you're going to be resistant, be cute.
So again, I went to that farm and my whole group came down with it. Probably, what's the incubation period for it? Probably 3 to 5 days, because 3 to 5 days after we all went to that one farm, my whole group was like, I don't feel so good.
Oh, no.
And this is one of the rotations that we had to drive 2 or 3 hours to get there. And so we all piled in the car on our way back to London. We were just all feeling miserable. And then I actually missed my next week of rotations because I was so ill and so sick. And I could not get out of bed.
Jeez.
So that stunk a little bit.
I feel like that story would make it onto, if they made any kind of a comedy sitcom about vet school.
Which they could, first of all.
Episode. Oh, they totally could. I wish they would. And then we get to look at animals on TV. I'm a simple person. Okay, so we get through rotations, and then
we have my exams, which are very different.
Big scary exams.
Ooh, spooky.
It was spooky. So we had 2 sets of exams in the UK for school. We had our practical exams where we had to test our ability to set up an anesthesia machine and place some stitches on a fake, wound, and wrap a horse leg and radiograph a horse leg, and practical skills, hands-on skills. And then we had our written exams, which tested our knowledge, our clinical knowledge. As far as I'm aware, that is different from how U.S. vet schools do their final exams. As far as I'm aware, U.S. vet schools do not have like a written final exam, because U.S. vet schools have what's called the NAVLE, which is the North American Veterinary Licensing Exam. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? Is that right?
We had written final exams for each class, but we didn't have one for to graduate school.
So that was also distinct, and this might be more of just like a European versus American way of teaching in general, because I think they do this at the high school level as well. In the UK, when you are taking a class, you don't have like weekly quizzes and exams every 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 9 weeks or something like that.
Right.
You have maybe a midterm, but definitely a final, and that's it. That's your only grade.
Yeah.
At least, again, that was my experience in vet school. Your whole grade for the entire year is based on 4 essay questions, and they could be about whatever topics the powers that be decide to choose. And that's your whole grade for the whole year. And you don't know what's coming, and you don't know what it's going to be. And there's no way to get extra credit, and there's no way to prepare more than just
knowing everything.
Gestures vaguely know everything.
Know everything.
Everything all of the time.
That's just your job.
Yeah. But your job is not one essay question that you're allowed 55 minutes on, that you're not allowed to research about and understand prior. And like, I understand, but it was frustrating.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of stress in that kind of last April to May of my last year of vet school.
Yeah.
That was also sprinkled in with the NAVLE, because I wanted to work in North America.
Yeah.
That is an extra exam that I had to take, which was, how do I put this lightly? I was not adequately prepared for the North American things that I needed to know. I was prepared at a European school to be a vet in Europe.
Yeah.
Some illustrations of this are, in the UK, rabies is not a thing. I don't know if they consider it eradicated or it never got introduced into the country.
It's eradicated.
Yeah. So our teaching of rabies was very broad and it's a neurological disease. It can affect most mammals, and you can vaccinate for it.
I think that seems silly.
It was very silly, especially knowing the sheer amount of North American students that they had in their class. It felt very silly to just be very broad about a topic that will be quite literally in our daily lives.
And like heartworms. Y'all learn about heartworms.
Exactly.
And that's very prevalent over here.
Yeah, we learn zero about heartworms, about prevention, about anything like that, because it's just not relevant over there. So they didn't feel the need to take time away from teaching their things.
Yeah.
Show us North American things. They said, learn that on your own time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they spent time on leishmaniasis, which we don't even...
Exactly.
But it's fun to say.
It is fun to say. So that was my vet school experience.
Yeah. And we are now, after testing, found out we passed last week.
Friday, yeah.
Friday? Yeah.
Whee!
But even though you got the European education and it was all different, I feel like because you chose your externships around where you wanted to practice and what you wanted to practice, do you feel decently prepared for your job?
Yes. And I am not being overly complimentary when I say this to you, but the main reason that I feel prepared to be a vet in the real world is because I chose my externship to work here.
You're so cute.
Honestly.
Don't make her head any bigger than it is.
Ashley, isn't it?
It is. Yes. It's all because of regular Ashley.
I teach real good.
Aw. I say big words and teach real good.
But it's not necessarily just about me. Like, you knew, you had kind of decided where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do, so you scheduled your externship rotations to be immersed in that world ahead of time instead of just finding a job there once you're already out and being expected to fit into that box.
Yeah. I always knew that I wanted to come back and work in the Houston area. That's where my family is. That's where my husband is. I always knew that I wanted to be back here. I knew that I wanted to get back to my FFA roots, if you will, and I wanted to get back to my kind of mixed animal, so dog and cat plus farm plus whatever, whatever else walks through the door.
Plus.
Walks or slithers through the door. And so what actually happened was I needed to figure out which mixed animal clinics existed in like the Houston, North Houston area. And so I was again in rotations. I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to work. I don't know where I'm going to apply. I don't know what's going to happen. And he was my boyfriend at the time, my now husband, wrote down on a sticky note. He's like, okay, I looked up mixed animal clinics Houston. Here are 4 of them. Here are their phone numbers. Just call them.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah. Well, it did end up like saving me from the anxiety. But the very first one he wrote down was this clinic. And I was like, okay, let's try it out. And I think my first stint here was maybe 4 weeks or 5 weeks where I came in and I basically shadowed as like baby doctor under the direct supervision of Dr. Molly. And I just really resonated with the teaching style and the mentorship style. It was very, well, you told me on the first day, you said, okay, my teaching style is I'm going to throw you in the deep end. And if you need me, I'm here. But if you don't need me, then you're learning and you're doing great.
My teaching style is I'm going to watch you drown and I'm going to wave from the edge of the pool.
Yes, that is correct.
But for me, I didn't know that I needed that. But I did feel like it really helped me because it gave me the self-confidence that, oh, wait, I can do this. I am competent. Yeah. I am going to be a vet. I can totally do this. She's totally, okay, I can do this. So yeah, I got a lot of surgical experience here that I would not have gotten otherwise at school. I got a lot of like client communication experience that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise at school. So this was the best place for me. And so it just made sense to apply to work here.
Awesome. And it worked. And you like us.
Yeah.
And you're staying.
I'm here.
Yeah, so Alex is officially, legally allowed to practice.
Yes.
She has come on board with our team. And so it sounds like you're pretty much like Molly, just like anything and everything. You'll learn whatever.
For the most part, yeah. I like it so long as it has at least one leg. I don't mess with snakes.
That's fair. I don't like snakes either.
What if the snake had one leg?
That would actually be more disturbing. Or would it? Would it be better? I don't know.
Nightmares.
But yeah,
Nightmares. Yes, that's right.
But yes, I do pretty much all of the species, which is exciting and fun and fresh.
Yeah. So Alex will be here at Northwest she'll be seeing patients, but starting off under Molly's wing and then taking off on your own little birdie flight.
Baby bird's gotta fly.
She doesn't need my wings. I'm just gonna be there I'm never gonna leave her alone yet until she's ready. I'm gonna be in the building in case she wants me, but I trust her. She can be her own adult.
You know, Alex you showed a lot of talent coming. I thought you were way farther along in your education when you first came here.
Really?
Yeah, you come off with confidence. So, and that'll be beneficial as you get into this fuzzy little world.
Sometimes you fake it till you make it, and sometimes it works.
Yep.
And sometimes you look afterwards and you're like, wait, what did I do?
What was that? I blacked out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all come meet her. I hope this answered some questions for some of y'all that are thinking about being vets but aren't sure yet. I'm sure that if some of y'all are in the midst of the application process or trying to decide what you want to do when you're grown up, I don't care what age you are. If you have questions, just give us an email at drmollydvm.com and I can make Alex answer them. She sits right next to me.
Yay!
All
Anything
right.
else?
No, I think that's it, Alex.
Sweet. I appreciate y'all having me.
Heck yeah.
Make good incisions.
Thank you for joining us on Tales from the Clinic. Again, we are your hosts, Dr. Molly and regular Ashley. For more insider scoops into the vet med life and pet ownership, hit that subscribe button for updates on new episodes and, of course, share our channel to spread the word. Check the podcast notes below to see how you can get in contact with us. You can find all of Dr. Molly's affordable pet healthcare clinics on social media as well. Thanks again, and talk soon.